Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Now we are talking about the alkanes. So alkanes, we know that it's sigma bonds. All right. So sigma bonds, it means sigma bonds equals single bonds. All right. Okay. When we're talking about, let's say now we're talking about methane, ethane, propane, butane, pentane, hexane, heptane, octane, nonane, decane. All right. How do we understand this? When we're talking about methane, we're talking about a single carbon, and for each carbon there must be 4 bonds. All right. That means if there is a bond right here, that means we don't have to put. Wait a minute. So 4 bonds, and it must attach by hydrogen unless it's attached by a carbon. All right. So this is methane, for example. All right. Wait a minute. I can write right here. So methane, we write it as carbon right here. Here is hydrogen. Methane, it means single carbon. All right. And since it's alkane, that means it's a single bond. All right. What about ethane? Now, when we're talking about ethane, we're talking about 2 carbons. That means how many hydrogens going to be there? Well, since this bond is attached by carbon, you can see it's attached, like the carbon is attached. So we just put carbon here, hydrogen. Here is hydrogen. Here, hydrogen. Here, hydrogen. We cannot put hydrogen in here because it's already been attached to a carbon. Here is hydrogen, here is hydrogen. So how can we write this? Well, it's a C2. How many H's we got? C2H6. All right, this is basically ethane. What about a propane? All right, propane, it means, so it means 3. So wait a minute. Propane, it means a carbon attached to a carbon attached to a carbon, 3 carbons. Here we're gonna have 2 hydrogens. Here we're gonna have a hydrogen. Here we're gonna have a hydrogen. 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 All right, how many hydrogen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What the hell is that? All right, wait a minute. 8. All right, 7. So it's a C3H8. Propane, it is a C3H8. This is a natural gas, by the way. Methane, ethane, propane, butane is a natural gas, all right? So C3H8. What about butane? Butane means 4 carbons, all right? So butane, it means 4 carbons. It means carbon attached to a carbon, attached to a carbon, attached to a carbon. Hydrogen, 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 hydrogen. I cannot hear it. It needs to be straight, but I cannot. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here we get 5 in here as well, on the top as well. So it's a C4H10. All right. C4H10. And you know what C4H10 stand off? C4, it's basically used in explosives. All right. Let's talk about pentane. Pentane means pentagon, and what's pentagon means 5-faced shape. So it's a pentane. Ane stands for alkane. So we're talking about C attached to a C, attached to a C, attached to a C, attached to a C. Carbon, carbon. I cannot put all the things around here, but basically carbon. Anyway, you guys know how many carbons are there, right? So yeah. Wait a minute. Here's a better way to write it. Here's going to be carbon. Right, here carbon, here carbon, here carbon, here carbon, here carbon. Here's carbon, here's carbon, here's carbon, here's carbon, here's carbon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That means C5H16. And go by this direction, all right. That's pentane. Wait, let me see again. 5 carbons, and the 3 in the middle are gonna have 2 hydrogens for each. Wait a minute. No. Restate back, all right? We know that's 5 carbons. The 3 in the middle are gonna have 2 hydrogens for each. That means the 6 total. And then the ones on the left are gonna have 3 hydrogens, and then the one on the right gonna have 3 hydrogens. So it's a 6 hydrogen plus 6. C5H12 is the answer for pentane. All right, that's pentane. I just cannot draw the entire thing in this board. It's a very small board, so sorry for that. But pentane is a C5H12. What about when we say hexane? That means it's a 6 attached to a C, attached to a C, attached to a C, attached to a C, attached to a C. The one right here is gonna have 1, 2, 3 hydrogens. The one right here is gonna have 2 hydrogens, 2 hydrogens, 2 hydrogens, 2 hydrogens, 8 hydrogens in the middle, because it's 4 carbons in the middle, so it's gonna have 8 hydrogens. And then the one on the right gonna have 3 hydrogens, so 8 plus C, that's an 11. And then the one on the left gonna have 3 hydrogens, that means a 14. So C6H14 is the answer for hexane. All right. Anyway, now we're going to what? Now let's move into heptane. How do you understand heptane? Just understand it conceptually, all right? So when we say heptane, we know we're talking about 7 carbons. That means the 5 in the middle are gonna have 2 hydrogens in each, so it's 10, and then the one on the right gonna have 3, and then the one on the left gonna have 3, so 10, so H16. So C7H16, it is 4 equals heptane. All right. Yeah. What about when we say what about when we say octane? How do we understand that conceptually? Well, think about it. There's going to be 6 in the middle. That means, so octane we understand it's a C8, all right? we know that there is a carbons in the middle. That means 6 carbons. That means and 2 carbons for each. I mean 2 hydrogens for each one in the middle. That means we're talking about 12 hydrogens total, plus the 3 on the right, and then the 3 on the left. Since there's only one bond attached to it, to another carbon, so therefore we're gonna have, 6 carbons in the middle. That's gonna be 12 plus 3. That's 15 plus 3. That's 18. H18 for octane. What about a nonane? Nonane. Nonane is a C9. They're gonna be 7 in the middle. That means the 14 hydrogens, since 2 hydrogens is attached for each carbon in the middle. So we know it's a 14 hydrogens plus the 3 on the right, which is 17 plus the 3 on the, so it's an H20. What about decane? We say decane, we're talking about C10. We know that there's going to be 8 in the middle. That means if there is an 8 in the middle, and for each carbon in the middle, in between the 2 carbons on the left node and the right node, that means we're talking about 16 hydrogens plus 3 on the right, which is going to be 19, plus the 3 on the left, which is going to be 22. So C10 H22. If not, I'm not mistaken. Let me see. The C on the right gonna contain 3 hydrogens. The C on the left gonna contain 3 hydrogens. It's a 6 hydrogen, and then there is an 8. So that means it's 16. 6 plus 6 H22. That's the answer. I hope that helps to understand the natural gases for. No, the natural gas we already found it in the first 4 carbons. The methane, ethane, propane, butane, these are natural gases. But I hope that helps for alkanes, to understand alkanes. All right. Now, and then we're going to go to alkenes, alkynes, basically the same thing, but the other ones, we're talking about the pi bonds. So, right. So we're talking about the